Hi and welcome back to another Deckcheck video. Today we do another format, Modern, and we stay in the same archetype as last time, which is Mono Black. So I'm always a fan of Mono Black in various formats, as you might have deduced if you have seen my last video. Um, so Mono Black in Modern exists in several variants, which is basically some kind of Necro dominance or some kind of Mono Black slash colorless Eldrazi something. And I have found an interesting list a few weeks ago, which is basically a twist of the classical Necrodominance list. I call it an aggro Necro list, which has the general pattern. You have Necrodominance as the powerhouse to refill your hand at the cost of life points, which is an inherent combo with a good old Soul Spike, which you can cast for free by exiling your surplus cards to deal 4 damage and gain 4 life. And the cool thing is you can do this in the end step after you have filled your hand of cards with the Necro Dominance, and depending on the life total of the opponent, maybe even win the game outright. Necro Dominance itself also combos very well with Shieldred, meaning you can pay all but one of your life points if you're certain that your opponent doesn't have instant burn, and then draw a ton of cards and a net plus of 1 life per card. So basically if you have 10 life, you just pay 9 of the life, draw 9 cards, gain 18 life back. So that's the classical Necro and Shelly Shell. And the new twist is that this list exaggerates the whole concept by playing also Sign in Blood to draw even more cards. So Sign in Blood is the target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life for 2 black mana sorcery. And the interesting twist is that you can also point this at the opponent's head, which then, with Shieldred, deals immediately 6 damage to the opponent, 4 from Shieldred and 2 from Sign in Blood, which is quite a good burn spell range. And Orcish Bowmaster also does this in a smaller degree. So Sign in Blood to the opponent's head with 1 Bowmaster on the battlefield means that you deal 4 damage to the opponent, which quite frequently can be the finishing move. And basically I want to test whether this list is really viable, because as a Mono Black fan, I'm a huge fan of just pointing Sign in Blood to my opponent's face and winning the game with it. Not sure how good it really is. And the rest of the deck is pretty stock. You have 4 copies of Fatal Push, the go-to small removal, 7 copies of 1 mana discard. You could also play 4 of Thoughtseize, 3 Inquisition, or also opt for other discard spells like Dreams of Steel and Oil. 4 copies of Dorothy Voidwalker, which is just a low curve creature which has an insane power level and an inherent mainboard, sideboard option against graveyard strategies. Of course, you play Fel the Profane 4 copies and Boggart Trawler 4 copies as basically lands, which are also black cards which you can pitch into Soul Spike. And you have an additional 2 copies of March of Wretched Sorrow, which has a similar function to Soul Spike, only that it doesn't go to the head, but it's also a sink for surplus black cards to recover life by dealing damage to creatures or planeswalkers. There's 1 spare slot which is covered by Sorin, House of House Markov at the moment, which is a quite powerful card once it flips to the other side and turns into another burn spell. But this is a flex slot. It could also be a different card, actually. It's this is a bit of testing. Yeah, and then the land base is pretty straightforward. You have the aforementioned black spell lands, Fel the Profane, Boggart Trawler. You have 12 Swarms and 3 copies of Castle Locktwain. And so that's basically the main deck. The sideboard is also a bit in the experimental stage. We can enlarge this a bit. So we have 1 copy of Surgical Extraction as additional graveyard hate, and 2 additional removal spells, Shieldred's Edict. Break the Ice against colorless lands, so Eldrazi, Tron, Urza Saga. 4 copies of Force of Despair, which is extremely helpful against decks such as Boros that could flood the board with small tokens, or especially the current affinity lists that use the Pinnacle Emissary to oftentimes turn 1 create a army of 1/1 drones, and with that card, with Force of Despair, you can just negate the entire first turn of affinity, killing the Pinnacle Emissary so that it doesn't go to the warp zone, and all the tokens on the way. And there's 4 copies of Disruptor Flute, basically to solve problems that Mono Black traditionally has problems with. So I don't run any of the clunky enchantment removal, but some enchantments, for example Goblin Bombardment, I really want to disable, so this is an option against that. There are also other activated abilities that you might want to slow down, so that's just a very versatile card for Mono Black. Yeah, and that being said, this is the general idea of the deck, so let's run into a league and have some fun. Alright, here we are in the first match of the league. This is the opening hand. It features only 1 land, no flip land, so this is going to be a mulligan, unfortunately. So this is 2 lands, no real synergy, but I guess we have to keep this. At least we have some disruption to control what the opponent does, and I don't think I want to have 2 Soul Spike in hand. Do I have any shuffle options? If I put a Soul Spike to the bottom, then I know that it's basically gone, right? Still, it's too clunky for the opening hand, so yeah, let's first have a look what goes on. If you have an opinion whether to start out in the Void with Inquisition or Thoughtseize, please let me know. So we seem to be playing against something 4-color control, maybe? Interesting. So Strict Serenade counters an artifact creature or planeswalker spell, which doesn't matter at the moment. Stock up, refills the hand. And Teferi is just a plain powerhouse. I can not really win when there's Teferi on the board, because I need to be able to play spells in my end step. I mean, I can still win by just combat damage, but yeah, I will be having a hard time once that is on the battlefield. So Castle Lochthwain is still not the most pressurizing draw. I'll just play Swamp and Thoughtseize my opponent. Solitude, yeah. Probably some blinky stuff going on here, so Solitude, probably Riddler, Ephemerate and stuff like that. I think I'm mostly afraid of Stock Up. And I'm not that concerned with Strict Serenade and Solitude at the moment. They might present a problem later, but not right now. So keeping track of my opponent's hand here. Fatal Push is also not the most helpful card. Yeah, this is apart from the 2 disruption spells, which help a lot in terms of telling me what my opponent is actually playing. This is that's basically 3 blanks in my head now, because there are no creatures that I need to target. It's just a bit ugh. So how much damage am I willing to take here? Do I want to pay 6 life to draw 1 card? Not sure. But maybe I have to. I mean, it's not that I'm under big pressure here, right? So we play Boggart Bog. Pay 3 life, yes. And go for card draw during that turn. Wonder why they run black in this deck. Well, I played the Steam Vents, right? So if they run random Bowmaster, that would be a nice punishment now. Oh, it's actually, I was wrong. I take 7 damage to draw a card. Well. Okay. I think I will just play the Trawler now. If they want, they can counter or kill it. I don't mind. It's just some random blah. If they had graveyard interactions, at least they don't interact with the current graveyard anymore. Did they actually play the Steam Vents, or did they fetch the Steam Vents? I was not sure. The Quantum Riddler, so we have to expect Ephemerate here, I guess. So that's a 4/6 creature, and I can deal only 5 damage with this. 4 damage with that. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think the secret best power of Quantum Riddler is the fact that it costs 5 mana and is immune to Fatal Push. Yeah. Bad timing of the draws here. So not knowing what they have in hand, it's likely that they have another. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty boned here, so I will just try and get rid of that Riddler somehow. And, yeah. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, right? So, some extra damage here, and then use Soul Spike or March. So I need to deal 3 damage. So I would just use Soul Spike. Can use March and pitch the push actually. And I want to do it like this. Yeah, done. These Kamigawa spells are so difficult to... Okay, that has worked at least. Then we fizzle the Ephemerate and we don't get beaten up by Quantum Riddler, and we're back to 14 lives, so that's a bunch of good news actually. So Stock Up is a card draw that is not actually a card draw, so that's a very sad Bowmaster in my hand here. Dark Ages, when control decks don't actually draw cards. Still, I will flash this in and see if they want to Strix Serenade it. They won't. Ironically, for the time being, this is about the same amount of damage. I got 2 power on the board that I can ping my opponent with. Autumn's Chant, I cannot cast spells this turn. Can use abilities. So to save 1 life point, I should probably then activate this now. They did not kick it, right? So I can just... That was a very proactive Autumn's Chant. I was not about to do any harm. The one Serenade that I know is already gone. So, Quantum Riddler is a good boy. That's card draw as we know it. Wrath of the Skies pitched to exile Bowmaster. So how many ephemerates do they have? And do they want to ephemerate Solitude or rather Riddler? They want to ephemerate that Riddler. So the Solitude is now gone as well, so all information from our discard spells in the beginning is now void. I think I want to draw another card, and if it's a black card I can Soul Spike. And yeah, I will try this again while attacking. Because when they ephemerate the Quantum Riddler to get another card draw, they are not going to attack, because it will be summoning sick. So this means I don't want to play land here, because I feel that I need food for the Soul Spike. So what does Strix Serenade counter? Artifact, creature, planeswalker. It's not an answer for Necro dominance, at least. Second Riddler. This is about to be complicated. That's actually not too bad. Counterspell, double Solitude. Okay. Guess we can live with that. Then we can definitely fell this profane creature. But we cannot do much about the rest. Double Solitude, Hall of Storm Giants. Teferi, yeah, that kind of sucks. Yeah, so I think this is the point where the game is over, because I have not seen my draw engine, and the opponent has drawn like 50,000 cards. So let's see what we can improve here. So Force of Despair is sort of okay against these plinky stuff. Shieldred's Edict is also okay. Disruptor Flute might do the trick. So I don't think that Fatal Push does anything for me. I definitely want the Shieldred's Edict, because killing Teferis and their singular big creatures, that is kind of nice. I like the discard spells. Yeah, with Disruptor Flute. I mean, it only slows down, because this match is not about activated abilities. I could use this to increase the cost of Ephemerate, which would definitely slow down the opponent. but I don't know if it's that great. I would rather guess that just using Force of Despair for surprise 0 mana interaction helps me more. Yeah. We'll see. So this is actually a 4-lander, so we keep this. We can play Inquisition turn 1, Sign in Blood turn 2. Have 0 mana interaction with the with the Force of Despair, so that can be okay. I mean, once the card draw engine is running, I will be having a hard time. There's no doubt about that. Consign to memory counters colorless spells or triggered abilities. Yeah, I think I'm not that afraid of it. Apart from that, there is only a Quantum Riddler, which I cannot take, so I take the stock up. So if they try a Quantum Riddler turn 2, which I doubt because they want to find Ephemerate first, I could interact with Force of Despair. Adjusted the game log a little bit so that it's maybe possible for you to read along. So I want to do some, in this case I'm happy to play some pressure first and force some interaction. Now this is a bit of a problem with this list. I feel that I would like to have one more playset of some kind of creature that pressurizes the opponent. Often it's like in the last game, you have some interaction spells, you discard cards, you kill their creatures, but you don't apply any pressure, and that's a bit of a bummer sometimes. So they have top deck Prismatic Ending, they have Consign in hand, and one card we don't know, so it's possible that Inquisition doesn't hit anything, so I will just draw some extra cards here. I mean, then we still play Inquisition because we can definitely take the Consign. Maybe they have something like Ephemerate, which we would definitely like to take. Or we take Celestial Purge, which is the much more dangerous card. Is this the right order of things? So yeah, this is the 4 cards that we know. Pass turn. Sort of hoping that they draw Ephemerate so that we can 2 for 1 with a Force of Despair. Okay, they apparently have not drawn Ephemerate, so because they leave Consign open and not. Actually, do I have to respond to this? Yeah, I think I have to. On the other hand, if they play land, no, they cannot play land. It's their third turn. Okay, no, never mind. I was thinking if they can play another land and another Riddler, then this would have been a waste. Alright, this has worked. There's not that much that I need to do here. I will just play this. What the fuck? Okay. If they want to consign this ability, I'm happy. They don't. Still happy. So they're back to 5 cards in hand. 4 cards, 2 of which we know, which don't matter much. They have revamped the buttons here. It's not okay anymore, but the name of the next step. Great to see an old program evolve. Still haven't seen why they have black in their land base. Could be Ketramos, but that would look like overkill. Actually, also haven't seen the red, right? Maybe it's just for prismatic ending purposes. Solitude Hard Karst? Karst? No. No Karsten. So they have Consign Otawara and 1 unknown card. I don't think I need to Inquisition here. I want to save that until I find Necro Dominance in order to make sure that one resolves. Otawara targeting Bogatroller. Sure. Glad to see that the little goblin applied so much pressure that the opponent deemed this necessary. Dulcie Void Walker. I think I will just keep on stressing my opponent with Bogatroller. Success! So Bogatroller drawing Otawara and Counterspell, that's a very successful one. So they have Consign and 1 unknown card. I think this is the time then to pay 3 life for the Mire and slam the Void Walker. No, Solitude Hardcast. What's happening? No, it's something else. Wrath of the Skies. Okay, fine. Where, God's name, is my Necrodominance? I want to see what's going on here. Ephemerate. Yeah, Ephemerate you don't need. I'm pretty sure you don't need that. No. Consign is okay. What happened to this? Did I somehow enter full control mode? I have the feeling that paying for my spells used to be easier. No. Oh, that's a good draw. Stock up is really insanely good draw spell. Mainly because it's no draw spell. So they have surveilled something to the top. And there is my Necrodominance. Sign can counter the Necro Dominance's trigger, which they will probably do. But they cannot do this forever, so probably now it's the end of Sheoldred as we know her. I hope it's not Rutherford's guys that would wipe the Necro Dominance along the way. No, it's not. Interesting. Okay, so what have we learned? They had an answer to Disruptive Flute all the time, and I have not really missed Disruptive Flute. Force of Despair was nice. I think the sideboarding is okay. The opponent has disconnected. Will they reconnect? Alright, my opponent is back. My opponent goes first. Mulligans to 6. I've got a very tapped castle Lochthwain. Wow, this is a keep. Lochthwain first, then bolt myself, play Voidwalker on turn 2. Bolt myself, Necro Dominance on 3. Ugh, this is going to be painful. Oh, is my opponent's name, by the way, Insane Apes? Appreciate it. So it's probably going to be Fetch Surveil. There we go. There is no Force of Despair this time. Right, so memory Memo to myself, there is a Quantum Riddler in the Warp Zone. And yeah, we have to apply some pressure now. Righty, so let's have a look what happens here. And I guess it smells a lot like Counterspell here, but I mean, what am I supposed to do? I've got to get rid of these counterspells and I don't have any hand disruption, so good thing is if they have Wrath of the Skies, it would take another turn until they can do this. So Memo to myself number 2. Now there is a counterspell in the Voidwalker, which means an untapped Voidwalker is a force of will for us. Which in turn means they have got to kill the Voidwalker right now, which is what they do. Okay, they have 3 cards left in hand. Riddler could be played next turn. So I would expect that they have another counter spell. The question would be send Shieldred or Necro Dominance into that counter spell. I think I could actually survive without the Necro Dominance. The Shelly seems to be more important. But I will need land number 4. Another Riddler in the warp. I cannot do much about it, I fear. Oh, this works as well. Interesting. This is basically the 25 version of Stifle Note. Didn't occur to me that this would work. I mean, it doesn't repeat the trigger, but it's still nice value. Makes much more sense for decks to run consigned to memory mainboard then. So they have 2 cards in hand, another Riddler in the warp. I think this is the turn where I need to try to establish Sheldred, right? The last 2 cards is White Card and Solitude. Oh, the last 2 cards were Solitudes, basically. Okay, at least. Then there are 2 of them gone. No untapped land, please. Because untapped land, draw 2 with the Riddler would be... Why do they have 2 cards in hand again? Oh, because the Riddler does it also for the normal card draw. Damn it. That's a good card. Let's see why I could sell some of my draft copies for 120 ticks. Yeah. Riddler is a good card. Noted. Play pattern is quite comparable to Mono Black actually. Emptying the hand with pitch cards like Solitude and then getting redraws via the Riddler. Just somehow better than what I do. Basically because of the counter magic, which gives a whole different range of interaction. My first swamp. I guess I will have to cast March of the Wretched Sorrow. But I don't need to do it right now because they have all their mana open. So maybe if they try something end of turn, or maybe if they reduce their hand size to less than 2 for the draw step, then I will try to get rid of that Riddler. But before, there is no real need. Still curious about all the colors. I haven't seen Flage, Catramos, or any black or red spells so far. It's probably all for sideboard matters. I'm usually also a big fan of playing Blood Moon or Harbinger effects. This would be a deck that could be nicely punished. So no extra card draws here. Tapped land means no second Riller. Yeah, now I gotta try, right? 6. No. So, Ephemerate or Counterspell will just kill me, I guess. I mean, the only chance, if they can prevent this now, would be to top deck another Necro Dominance. Which is only 2 copies and 47 cards, so that's rather unlikely. But not impossible. But yeah, I think if they prevent this and I don't get a Necro Dominance into play next turn, I'm done for. Why do you have to think about this? Come on. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm done for. Alright, we found the next opponent. We won the die roll. So this is a keep. Opponent mulls to 5. Which is probably good news for my Inquisition start. Alright, Eldrazi something. Ramp Kozilek's command. Probably don't mind the ramp, but I do mind the payoff, so let's get rid of that. Bowmaster. I mean, it's probably not the most important card in this matchup, but still, being able to establish some board presence is probably nice. So that's another talisman. That's Eldrazi Temple. And this talisman. Okay. Our opponent has successfully ramped. It's official. Yeah, that looks okay. I will just do what my deck wants to do. Play a land, play Necro Dominance, draw some cards. And limit is 5. I will draw at least 2. Maybe 1 more to have some selection. Interesting. So that means I was expecting that there might be a Oh, I don't have a stop in my end step. That's a... not the wisest move. Still, I will just then discard Necro Dominance and be fine. Because the stop in the end step is kind of important for this deck. It's the problem when you play on another machine that appears to not have the same stops. But shouldn't these stops be account bound? Well, in any case, I did not do my homework. I did not set the stops right before running a Necro Dominance deck. My bad. So opponent has only one card in hand, which means I will go for attack and play Boggart, Bog, Shieldred, move to the end step and draw like bunch of cards. Will I go for the... Yeah, I will go for the full swing here. Do I expect any burn spell from their side? Does this burn? No. Let's do the full swing. Some triggers. Then send this one to the dome. Send this one to the dome. Unfortunately, there is no additional one, so we just go and discard some lands. So it's regardless of what they do. Life gain is a bit of a problem. They go to 6, then I still win. Because I can... that's not sure. Because when they tick up and find a colorless spell that they can cast, I have a problem. But otherwise I would just finish with the Bowmaster and the Sign in Blood. I do have enough mana. So just to be very sure, I want to see what they have. Okay, this doesn't matter. Play this one to the dome. Okay, that was kind of easy conditions because the opponent started with Mulligan on 5 and only mana. Okay, in fairness, a Cozy Legs command which got Inquisitioned. The irony. I didn't realize that Cozy Legs command got taken by Inquisition of Cozy Leg. The irony. So I think this is again no deck for Fatal Push. This is definitely a deck for Break the Ice. A matchup. I do kinda want Shieldred's Edict. I might want Force of Despair. So since Inquisition can hit Cozy Legs command, I think this is fine to keep. Think I will cut Sorin and one Bowmaster for 2 copies of Shieldred's Edict. Maybe we need Disruptive Flute in order to be able to disable Eugene. But I would first try without. I don't think I've played this matchup, so I'm a bit unsure. So, we have enough mana on this hand, but no real pressure, no interaction. I mean, we have Sheoldred's Edict, but not sure if this will be enough. But yeah, I mean, as I said, I don't know this matchup very well, so I just keep and learn by doing. Opponent has mulliganed. Yes. Thoughtseize. Well, I think I will start on 15 life then. Microspawn and Talisman. Yeah, I don't mind the ramping. Cannot really prevent that anyways. That's a nice draw. So yeah, I'll now just play the land that's tapped anyways. Eldrazi Temple. Ice Explorer, nice. Yeah, Ice Explorer is a really good value engine. I should definitely get rid of that now. Would have preferred to play Necro Dominance this turn, but Ice Explorer just produces so much card advantage and ramp. I cannot really handle it. So they didn't want to play this Eldrazi. Why didn't they want to play this? Okay, the trick is now... And the good news is the Eldrazi is not on the battlefield. If I play Necrodomins, they will just get back the Eldrazi and play it next turn. I could slowly work towards casting Break the Ice against all of this stuff. Difficult. I will play Castle. I mean, if they don't want to play this Eldrazi, I'm fine. So I think I don't do anything right now. If they have a big creature, I have another Sheoldred's Edict. If I draw another land, I can overload the Break the Ice next turn. which in turn means I should probably play Necro Dominance this turn to get a land into my hand. But first have a look what opponent has in hand. Unholy Heat. Yeah, we can get rid of that, for sure. Then play this tapped. Play Necro Dominance. And draw, I think, 3 cards. There is not a single land. Do I want to Soul Spike? I think I do. So they will exile my Necro Dominance. I will edict their Eldrazi. No, my graveyard. Okay. The overload plan doesn't work. Still, it's more important to get the stuff off the board, and then I will just, without overload, destroy one of their temples. So if I destroy Temple and Labyrinth, they are down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. I think that's good. Attach Shelly to the board. Hope that Eldrazi deck without mana has limited interaction capabilities. Oh, that's a good card. So let's see what happens if we connect. But with only 1 colorless mana, I think there is not that much that the opponent can do. They might have Burn of Swords. Okay. Well, I think this was a very, very nice draw from our side. Mulligan on the opponent's side. And yeah. I wouldn't say that this is representative for the matchup, because I really think that the opponent had a rather weak draw. But still, it was a nice demonstration that this deck can do something against Eldrazi. Although the Break the Ice was timing-wise a bit awkward, but this was also due to the fact that I was on the draw this game, so being on the play, Sinkhole is even more powerful. But yeah, I mean, with a bit of better timing, if I could have caught the Eugene's Labyrinth before they could get their Eldrazi out, that would have been stronger. But then again, at this point they were out of hand and were just waiting for the moment to get it out of the vault. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so that's 1-1 in the league. Let's see what else we have in store. Right, here we are for the third game. This is the opening hand. We have more Sign in Blood than lands, and only one land, so that's a mulligan. That's enough mana to keep. We'll have to get rid of one of the discard spells. Ooh, Lush Portico, that must be Domain Zoo then, right? I'm not aware of any other deck that runs this card. I'll start the game on 15. Yeah, well, if it's Domain, I probably have to use Thoughtseize and not Inquisition. Yep. Alright, so there is Stubborn Denial. Lightning Bolt, Camouflage. I think Kavu is the major problem because that would resolve next round, so off you go. It's nice to actually play different matchups here. I was a bit afraid that we only run against Riddler and Ephemerate decks. I want to Inquisition now. The question is, am I fine if they just Stubborn Denial it? I think I'm not. So there's a Scion of Draco, which is bad news because that will probably resolve next turn. Don't really want to discard Flage because that accelerates the process of her returning from the grave. Think I have to actually take Stubborn Denial then, because that's too much potential interaction for me. Slightly too expensive for Fatal Push. Right, so I can play tapped land. So how much damage do I take next turn? That's a potential of 10 damage here. I think my only line is to play Necro Dominance. Make sure I find a swamp for next turn or a castle, so that I can do Sheoldred life gain next turn. Hope they didn't find another Stubborn Denial, that would suck. So, how many cards do I want to draw? I mean, the Sign of Draco is only 4/4. If I find a Soul Spike, that could actually be nice. So they have a potential of 10 damage. So I cannot exaggerate here. I will just draw 3 then. Alright, I have found the untapped mana at least. Another sign of Draco. Right, so they have Lightning Bolt in hand, which means I can only pay 4 life into the Necro Dominance and hope that I find something that is called Soul Spike. There is no Soul Spike. That's bad news. Then that means that I'm actually dead, right? 6, 10, 14. Yes, I'm dead. Well, defeated by the random factor. I can use Shieldred's Edict for sure. I can use Force of Despair. Not overly convinced by Disruptor Flute. I've got mixed feelings about Fatal Push. I think I might not like Inquisition that much in this matchup. So yeah, I do want to play Edict and 4 copies of Force. I don't want to run Inquisition. I might be fine with 3 Fatal Push, and I think I will... Well, maybe it's fine with 2 Fatal Push actually. I wanna go first. Wanna vomit. I mean, I can play some spells actually, but I don't have a single land, so... that's better. Keep and ship one of these Necrodominances. They open with Leyline of the Guild Pact, which is bad news for me. Yeah, I've got to be easy with my life total here. Yeah, let's just try to sign in blood myself. Has worked out. Oh, I have to try Necrodominance, I guess. It works. How much do I want to invest? Not that much, I guess. Oh, okay. It's actually not a question that we have to ask ourselves. That's fine then. Okay, comment on discard spells. I think it's fine to board out Inquisition here. And I have not had a situation so far where I would have liked to have Dreams of Steel and Oil instead, so at least that's a test result. So Territorial Kavu. No, we'll have to try Force of Despair here. And pitch the Soul Spike, I guess. No stubborn denial is good news, because that would have been really expensive. So as long as I'm not under pressure here, it's fine. Still got plenty of interaction, but I would guess that my opponent also has plenty of interaction in their hand. Yeah, still I think I will have to pay 4 life to draw a card here. Okay. I will not use Castle Lockthwain again in the near future. Alright. Well, 6 removal in hand. And no targets. Another ley line. Thought these would have been great. Yeah, so I think they have a hand full of leyline bindings and maybe lightning bolts. So since I have only 7 cards in hand, I would guess that I wait one more turn before playing Sheoldred, because it would just eat a removal spell. So some haste creature approaching. This is what I kept the Fatal Push in for. Stubborn Denial is fine. Then okay, so it's... Ah, no, they don't have any. Blue mana left, so they might have more Stubborn Denial, but that doesn't matter for this turn. Still, I fully expect there's more removal in there, so I will just sign in blood and see what happens. Do it again. So now there's enough pressure to actually do something, and I've got 0 mana interaction left. This matchup is an argument for running 4 Thoughtseize and 3 Inquisitions as a general configuration. Necro Dominance. 2 Soul Spike in hand. I think one of my Soul Spikes is in exile, so this is not Something that I would win with. Somehow need to attach Shelly to the board. Necro Dominance doesn't do much at the moment. Yeah, this is just... They won't have infinite copies of Leyline Binding, so one has to go here right now. Flage. Yeah, not much I can do about it. Could use a Boggart Bog next turn. Correction. Could use a Boggart Bog this turn. I mean, okay, then I will take another 3 damage, but I can Force of Despair. So that will be fine. Is there any reason to Soul Spike here? Don't think so. Don't think I really need that Bowmaster. So 1 card left in my opponent's hand. Ah, that would have been nice to have earlier. I have to establish shield right now. With her on board, I might be able to recover. If I play Necro Dominance and proactively play Soul Spike, then I die against some haste creature, I fear. Right. Shelly seems to be alive and well. Okay, then. Good thing is with the Soul Spike in hand, I can also respond to my opponent if they have Lightning Bolt in response. Surgical Extraction, Shieldred's Edict. Sure. That's an odd choice. I would have taken the Force of Despair, I think. Okay, so match is tied. Probably fine with that configuration. We might take Surgical Extraction in order to be able to combat Flage. I think on the draw, Sorin is just too slow. Many things might be too slow on the draw in this matchup, actually. This hand is bad. This is worse. Yeah, I guess. Just get rid of 2 Bowmasters. Flage, Ragavan, Kavu, no additional land, but they have Surveil to the top, so that's probably a land. I don't want to be beaten up by Ragavan. So don't want to be beaten up by Territorial Kavu, for that matter. And if they want to dash Ragavan, that's actually fine. Because Ragavan I can handle. I cannot really handle the Kavu at the moment. I've got to take the Kavu, unfortunately. Ragavan cast with dash. Exiled my swamp. Totally unfair. Another Thoughtseize. So if I play this, they can stubborn denial it, which would be fair in this situation because they have to use a treasure. I don't lose life. And then I can use March of Wretched Sorrow against Ragavan if necessary. This player wants to draw cards. No, I got to play the land, I guess. If they draw a white land, I'm pretty boned. I think I have to keep back this. I mean, they can draw any untapped land, right? Because Leyline says everything is a plains, basically. Well, that does help. Then I can at least fell the profane if necessary. I mean, at the moment they don't have the amount of cards necessary. Flage needs 5 other cards, so 1 fetch land would mean that they can do this. Null Drifter? Not sure if I've seen Null Drifter in this kind of deck. So they can Flage now if they also have a Stubborn Denial. pretty much dead. Again, late to the party. This will be very difficult to come back, actually. So low on life already. Another flage. It's down to 1 for me, I guess. Gosh, this is horrible. Yeah, I mean, what am I supposed to do, right? I mean, proactive Soul Spike to the head. Draw some cards, but I'm so dead against pretty much everything. Cannot do this, I guess. I have to wait until I draw another black card so I can keep the second Soul Spike. Because otherwise I won't have enough life in order to interact. Cabo is okay. Another fetch land, that means impending flage. Swamp doesn't really help. Lockthwain also doesn't help. Yeah, they can fetch into Surveil Flage with haste, so I'm dead. Alright, it's a difficult matchup. I mean, in fairness, my draws were also pretty mediocre, I think. I think I could perform better against this deck. I haven't seen a single Boggart Trawler in this matchup, which would have been great against the Flages, which were my main problem. And I didn't have that much hand control in order to get rid of their interaction. Because aside from Leyline Binding, I am not afraid of their interaction, but I have only 3 copies of Thoughtseize, so that's my only option to get rid of those. And yeah, this is maybe something that I need to adjust with the deck list. So I think this matchup is not hopeless, but it's definitely difficult. And yeah, unfortunate result, but still nice learning. Right, so game or match number 4. We're going second. And the opening hand is okay, actually. Ugh. Great. I shouldn't have celebrated the fact that we're playing against different matchups all the time here. Twice against domain. This is nothing that I would like to do, but yeah. I mean, twice is okay. As long as we don't play it again in the last round. Also, I mean, at least I can do it, I can use it to see if my assessment of the matchup was correct. So something that is definitely surprising. I wasn't aware that they run Muldrifter, and I don't really see why they do. What does Muldrifter do for them? I mean, why not any other card draw engine? So they haven't found a second land. Good for me, I guess. So, yeah, since Bowmaster is not the most powerful card in this matchup, I mean, it does something against Ragavan, but I think I should Thoughtseize at this point. Doorkeeper Thrall. I see. So they skip the ETB trigger of Flage and only get the attack triggers. So, but I do have an answer to Doorkeeper Thrall, and I claimed last time that Leyline Binding is the card that troubles me, so let's get rid of that. That one has Flash, right? That's a bit of a problem. Which basically means as soon as they have 2 lands, I got to keep my Fatal Push open. So they have Stubborn Denial. I got 3 Necro Dominance, meaning that just playing one of them could be the right move to get rid of the Stubborn Denial. But yeah, doesn't feel too good. I think I'd rather Sign in Blood myself. Keep some interaction. So there is Boggart Trawler. That is potentially helpful against Flage. Although not with a Doorkeeper Thrall. Okay, opponent still doesn't find any land. I do. Necro Dominance still not overly impressive. Could play Boggart Trawler to reduce the amount of cards in their graveyard. But I think it's fine to do this next round, actually. I will just see what they do. I got 7 cards in hand. They will have to discard next turn, unless they find their land. Which is fine. Which means they can now Doorkeeper by the end of the turn. Draco. Well, Draco is quite bad for me. Cannot really handle that one. It's unfortunate that there is no no Soul Spike in our hand yet. So one potential line would be to just go nuts, play Necro Dominance, draw a bunch of cards, hope to find some Soul Spikes. And if that fails, we're dead. Problem is I don't see any viable other line here, so I could play the Voidwalker past the turn, but that's not really good. I think I go for the nuts. I will play a tapped bog. Play Necro Dominance. Yeah, and then draw a lot of cards. Oh, that has hexproof. Shit. I cannot soul spike that one. Then I ruined the entire turn, then I should have just played Necro Dominance and Voidwalker. Okay, then I can never handle Scion of Draco. Yeah, I mean, now I ruined it, right? But then I don't pay 15 life or something, I just draw some. And fire some Soul Spike to the dome. That's not really helpful. Forgot that there's hexproof is one of the keywords. I was always happy that haste is not one of them, but hexproof is even worse. And I found their third land, but with Doorkeeper Thrall not in play, this doesn't change much, but yeah, I cannot do anything here. Also, I mean, the other line would probably not have won anything for me. Can Disruptive Flute help me? I think I'm on the play, so it could be fast enough. Could get rid of Leyline Binding, or at least decelerate it quite a bit. So Fatal Push seems okay in this matchup when they have Doorkeeper Thrall. Still not a fan of. I mean, we can try. I mean, this matchup is horrible anyway, and we're just here for testing. I can try if I can do something with Disruptive Flute instead of discard. Force of Despair and Edict are amazing against the hexproof shit. Try something like this. It's another mulligan potential. I mean, maybe it's actually a keep, because I got double Force of Despair, and with one land I can play Sign in Blood, and it's not actually neck breaking if this takes a few turns until I can play the Sign in Blood. So under the assumption that they have early creatures like Ragavan, Kavu, Scion, that's pretty good for me. Obviously they have the Leyline. Would be great if they hadn't for once. Can I be lucky as well? I can. Amazing. let's draw some of the interaction out, right? Okay, they don't have Leyline Binding in hand, or they don't want to use it. And potentially no Lightning Bolt. They surveil to the top. That's all the information I can give you at the moment. So probably another land. Sign with haste. So I could get a sign of Draco off the door of the Void Walker. But on my board this is not as impressive, right? It's just a 4/4 flyer. I think the Void Walker on the board is stronger than a 4/4 flying creature. So let's just refill the hand. Ducks. The same song again. The same song again. I cannot use 2 shield reds at the moment. But I can definitely use 1. The extraction is a rather painful draw here. So I guess I gotta activate this one. Lose 3, gain 2. Disruptor Flute is also not a black card apparently. Nobody told me that. Yeah, I think I don't dare blocking Ragavan, because Ragavan plus Lightning Bolt would kill Shelly. Then I rather give them a one-time lottery ticket. By means of Ragavan potentially hitting a removal spell on my side. Boggart Trawler, that's okay. You can have a Boggart Trawler. Okay, Disruptor Flute seems awkward in this matchup. And on the draw, I'm pretty sure that I don't want to have it. So, yeah, I will have to activate this, hope for a black card. course not. No, I still suspect that they might have lightning bolt, so I'm not attacking here. Question is, do I dare to block? I think I would block now. Now they are on 3. So it would be fine to not give them an extra card from Ragavan. Although if they have Flage, they go to 6, and then my Soul Spike is not lethal anymore. Okay, so they have some kind of creature. Probably another sign of Draco. No, that looks like a Kavu. Yeah, Kavu is fine. You want to draw a card? Have fun. Alright, 1 win for Shelly. Yeah, the Disruptive Flute was super awkward. I definitely want to have Hand Disruption instead. Yeah, and against the Ragavan list, the 4th Fatal Push is also fine. Yeah. March would also be fine. Fine-ish. Bowmaster will do the trick as well. So yeah, the Black Force is really nice to answer the hexproof dragon. Also got a Shieldred's Edict here. 2 mana. It's not the best hand, but it's also not the worst, so let's just try. Of course. I mean, in fairness, they mulliganed to find one, but still. I want to complain. So there is no chance at the moment to get this untapped, so play this now and hope that we don't need Fatal Push right away. That's okay. Had we only known. So this is kind of... I mean, this part is obvious. No, I think this part is obvious too. I mean, sometimes I want the Boggart Bog, as I said before, to eat their graveyard and help me against Flage. But I think there is no use Holding that one back. Okay, another Kavu. Means that I have to use Edict on the Kavu now, which is unfortunate because I want to save that for better creatures that I cannot push. But what am I supposed to do? They fetch in their upkeep for a Godless Shrine. Why in the world would they fetch for a Godless Shrine in the upkeep if they don't want to play anything then? Maybe something on the lines Doorkeeper into Flage is about to happen here. I'm very tempted to play Voidwalker Bowmaster now. Because I don't think... So if they have removal, which I assume, the Shelly Necrodominance line is not as good. So first use this turn to get rid of some stuff from the hand and then see where we get next turn. Lightning Bolt. That's fair. Then they can at least not have Doorkeeper and that thingy. So yeah, I should do that in respawns because otherwise it doesn't do anything anymore. Why don't they get Surveil lands? Do they only run one? So they have one card in hand. Question is between Shieldred and Necrodominance here, and I think I want to have the card draw engine first. And then, yeah, I think I draw 4 in the end step. Maybe even 5. Because I don't need any more lands right now. And there is a Fatal Push that I can cast, which I would definitely try and do. The Surgical I will save for potential Flage and discard Castle Thwain. Okay, this doesn't look too bad then. Pre-combat, I don't have any action. Then attack. Another Doorkeeper. I mean, do I want to force that? Then I lose the power of force for their turn. This is probably not right. I mean, if they find a Flage, I can still use force for what comes out of that, so... And I mean, the Bowmaster doesn't really matter. Yeah, I think I will just play Shelly then, knowing that opponent doesn't have any removal. And then draw a bunch of cards, I guess, right? I mean, they are out of hand, so I can just draw 14, gain 14 life. Play some Soul Spikes. How many Soul Spikes do I have? Enough. Great. So, to the dome. To the dome. To the dome. And Shelly for the finish. Hopefully. Right, we did it. So, the assumptions from the previous match seem to be more or less correct. The new thing that we have learned, Disruptor Flute, is really too clunky, too slow. And also obstructs our own Soul Spike plan, so not a good choice in this matchup. So, opponent goes first. This hand looks acceptable. I hope that we play against something else than... That's a beautiful land. Unswept here, Sacred Frontier. That seems to be a normal matchup. Boros. I would guess that I want to grill the Guide of Souls. I probably don't have to do this right now, but I can wait to next turn. Not sure what to pitch actually. Probably the Sign in Blood actually. Yeah, I want to do this now. Yeah, that's nasty. This is the reason why I want the flute in the sideboard. In this matchup it might do something. A journey. Ah, damn it, it's only about cards. Voidwalker prevents the dying trigger. Could have shot Ajani in response, right? That would have been expensive too. Yeah, with Goblin Bombardment and Ajani, it's difficult. Rather difficult. Necro Dominance is not that bad to any target, so I could play Necro, fill the hand, and grill Ajani. I think this is the way to go. How many cards will I want to draw? Soul Spike needs 2 additional ones, so basically 5 I can keep for free. I think I will draw 6 for some selection. Necro and Thoughtseize can go, I guess. Potentially discard one of the Bowmasters. Bowmasters kind of suck against Goblin Bombardment. Still kill 1 cat token, but apart from that, it's rather mediocre. So, yeah, I got to try, right? I mean, they would, I figure, need 2 removal spells for it. They have Throb and Charm for the Necro Dominance. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Boros is also really... I think it's a difficult matchup for every deck because it's so strong and versatile. It's a deck that I would really like if it wasn't so much MH3 block constructed. Looking at you, Ajani. And Discharge. And Thram Charm. And Guide of Souls. And Ocelot Pride. And Flage. It's really... I mean... Some key cards are also from other expansions, but I think if it wasn't for Goblin Bombardment, one could basically build the deck from only MH3 cards. Of course, Voice of Victory and Pyromancer are also nice cards, but yeah. Right, what can we do here? If Shelly is alive, then this is probably fine. If they attack, they have Galvanic Discharge in hand, so we're not blocking. So that they have to invest a little bit more. That's Shelly down. This match is probably lost because they can just get Flage back. Yeah, basically it's a tradition of horrors for mono black when the opponent resolves Goblin Bombardment or a Sack Outlet on that line. It's really, really difficult to combat. Because all the removals just go straight into my face. At least we can prevent one of the Ajani flips. Pay 3 life, draw a card, or flash Bowmaster. I think I don't want to take that much damage, so rather emptying my hand. And also maybe Bowmaster will take one or the other shot. Oh, I even played Discharge on Bowmaster. That seems a bit over the top. Then I'm happy to have played Bowmaster. Ah! Ooh! Ah! Yummy. This is the moment Boggart Trawler lives for. Bye bye, Flages! See you! Okay, we're back in the business. First, some swings. Yeah, then play some Necro. So, at least 7, so I can use the Soul Spike. Maybe 8, because they... 7 is fine. Don't be greedy. Ocelot Pride. Fine so far. Yeah, so whatever I do, they will sacrifice the Pride and shoot either Bowmaster or Boggart Trawler. Or they forget it. Happy times for me. Then this is just lethal damage. I think they were a bit in tilt mode after I resolved my Boggart Trawler. So what do we do in this matchup? So I haven't played this matchup that often, despite it being such a frequent deck you encounter in Modern. So I like Force of Despair. I think I need Flute in this matchup. I don't need March of Wretched Sorrow because once they get Goblin Bombardment going, it's really not a good spell anymore. At least 2 of the flutes, maybe even more. Not sure. I think I'm fine with Inquisition, but I don't need Thoughtseize against them. I want 1 Surgical against the Flages. I think I go with 2 Force, 2 Flute, and 1 Surgical. Unless I find something that I really... Actually, I think I want all 4 copies of the Force. And cut 2 Sign in Bloods. Sorin is probably a good card in this matchup. Lots of toughness and life gain potential. Right, so obviously we're going second. We have 2 lands, Inquisition, this is a keep. We're not soul spiking that Guide of Souls. Flage, Surgical, Ajani. What? Don't think we want Ajani. I don't mind the Surgical at the moment. I think this is the moment for Sorin, actually. Mesa, Mesa. Seasoned Pyromancer. Not going to respond to that. One happy cat. Cannot play another land, so that's just me done. They might want to kill my Boggart Trawler and Surgical it. Another Ajani. Well... it's a bunch of creatures over here. Void Walker. Mm. So, if you have gained 3 or more life, exile, return transformed. So I could play Necro Dominance, play Soul Spike on a Ajani, flip Sorin, kill something else, refill hand. And Necro Dominance before is important so that my Soul Spike will get exiled so they cannot surgical my Soul Spike. If they have Thraben Charm in hand, this plan will fall apart quite miserably. But I think I don't have that many options here. So I think I just pitch both and play the land. So yeah, I want to test time until later. I won't attack. Ah, snap. But then I'm happy that they didn't kill the Necro Dominance in response to the Soul Spike, so at least the plan of avoiding the surgical extraction still works. Yeah, just kill that big creature. Don't think I want to play the land then. Because if I draw a swamp next turn, I at least have something that I can do. So now they have only surgical left in their hand, which is not that dangerous. So, swing into Sorin's direction. I don't think I want to do this right now. Cannot protect Sorin anyways, so might as well keep my Boggart Trawler. That's not the best possible draw. So I would be fine trading the Trawler against the Guide of Souls, actually. They would not be. much I can do here. Fuck. Voice of Victory. Yeah. This is falling apart. Voice of Victory is also an argument against the black force in this matchup. Yeah, I think this is done. I would like to have some kind of damnation or toxic deluge in my sideboard, but I have not brought this today, so let's see what we can do. I think I want to go to the proactive plan with Thoughtseize on the play. Because it's not only about the Goblin Bombardment, it's also about enchantment removal, which I want to get rid of in order to make Necro Dominant stick. So many problems here, but I think the most severe one is Goblin Bombardment. Yeah, not much I can do right now, so I mean, I can do something, but I cannot do anything about the Guide of Souls, so just play Sorin. Hope that it helps. Yep. So this is not great. Sign in Blood, no extort. Hope to find Fatal Push. Or Necro Dominance. Pay several life. Hope to find something helpful. Which means Soul Spike for Voice of Victory. I think I want to go all in here. What's the shortcut for no, by the way? 4 means no. Okay. So I need to draw a bunch of cards, at least 5. Potentially some more. There is no Soul Spike. No, Force of Despair doesn't help at the moment. I mean, at least I've filled up my hand, but this is unfortunate. I don't find a single removal for Voice of Victory, and so my Force of Despair is void. That's really unfortunate. Need to get rid of Ocelot Pride with the Bowmaster, and yeah, hope to find Fatal Push or Soul Spike. With a Necro Dominance, I don't think I have any other option here. Play that one. Don't pay life. I mean, Soul Spike is even not enough anymore. I need the Fatal Push. I would like to find both. Double Soul Spike could work. So they could have Lightning Bolt. So I will pay 5 in order to not die to Lightning Bolt. To hope that it will be enough. There's at least a Fatal Push. Discharge my Sorin. That's unfortunate. If they play Seasoned Pyromancer, discard a non-land, I could die to Guide of Souls. This way I cannot die to Guide of Souls. Happy to trade tokens. Interesting that they do this after combat. So if they discard a non-land, they have potentially thrown away the victory. Okay, now they have a land. I do get 2 triggers still, so can get rid of that Guide of Souls. That's really presenting a threat against me. So Pyromancer, I don't really mind, I think. I need to keep the Force of Despair for more dangerous interactions. So yeah, I will have to shield red, draw 3 cards, gain 6 life. I cannot attack, I guess. Oh, that's good. I can get rid of Sign in Blood and a Voidwalker here, I guess. Discharging Shield Red. Unfortunate. I will happily trade this. Flage is a problem. I got to draw some cards and Soul Spike them. I don't have any other good line here. So Soul Spike, blah blah. So +5 cards is fine. +6. Let's get one more. Can definitely kick the Inquisition. Potentially fell the Profane. I have 6 cards in hand. But there's no need to play the Bowmaster right now. I will just discard a Swamp. I don't need 2 Swamps next turn anyways. This will probably just be hardcast Force of Despair. Good old Boggart Trawler. Yeah, and then what to do with the Necro dominance? I think just draw 2, because going below 4 into bold range, or flage range as it's called today, it's rather dangerous. And then just hope for the best. Unfortunately, we got a very long way to go here. Seasoned Pyromancer. This means they draw 2 cards, take 2 damage, and my orc is growing. Ocelot Pride, that's fine. Ajani is not fine. It's a bunch of value over there. I can kill one with Fatal Push. Now I can kill one with Fell the Profane in my turn. Did they gain life this turn? I don't know. I think I will just get rid of that in response. Yeah. I have to attack with both. Hope that Ajani doesn't block, and some other dopes block. Need to play the land. I think now I got to risk it. Because this is not going to win against an army of charm blockers. Surgical. Shield Red. But I'm too low on life to actually use it. So I die against many things. Think I will just surgical in their upkeep. No. In their draw step against Ajani. Dum, dum, dum. Okay. They only have a fetch land. I have a shield red. There's hope. So they will have to block, make jump blockers. I can block both. At this point I wish for the old legend rule. So that I can play Necrodominance to kill both Necrodominances. Ah, there's Surveil to the top. That's bad news. That's bad news. Unfortunate. It's just too much value to handle. But still, it was at least possible to keep up with Boros, at least a little bit. I guess this match could have gone the other way as well. So, to conclude, what do we think of this deck? Pile view, so that says it. I think it was quite fun to play. Its downside is you really have to invest more than other decks because all the decisions matter so much and it's so often down to one card or one life that makes the difference. But if you like that kind of playstyle, I can highly recommend this deck or variants of it. With regard to the main deck, I think I'm more or less fine. Maybe swapping the amounts of Thoughtseize and Inquisition could have been a thing for the domain matchup. The one of Sorin was okay. I would like to have some more early drops to actually be a bit more proactive, but most of the good low drops in black, they have some kind of graveyard interaction, which sort of doesn't work with Necrodominance because I tend to have no graveyard when my deck works, so yeah, I'm not really sure. So if you have an idea about early drop that doesn't require the graveyard and that can add some pressure to this deck, please let me know. Regarding the sideboard, I found myself very rarely wanting to actually board in 4 Disruptor Flute. I would probably cut 2 of those and replace them by mass removal such as Damnation or Toxic Deluge. The rest was okay, I guess. So this deck is definitely not tier 1, probably not even tier 2, but it can keep up with some of the meta decks as we have seen today, and it results in interesting and tight matches, but maybe this is more a deck for an FNM and not for a big tournament or online league where you actually want to win. So yeah, I'm happy to look into the Eldrazi list at some point, but that's a matter for another video. So thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure, and see you around next time.